Let me quickly explain the situation. So yesterday, a Hummer came to pick us up. We loaded it with everything we could and we made the trip. The Hummer. From the moment we arrived at a place that's kind of a border between the dangerous zone, that is the one within range of FPV, and what we consider the front line, well, that's when the jammer was activated. We waited until we were sure there were no Russian observation drones in the sky. Heavy drones like Orlandis, Supercam, Zala, and so on. And we know that thanks to the Virage software, and as a result, we were able to wait for almost an hour in an incredibly comfortable safe house. There's heating, water, electricity, and lots of space. It's amazing how they organized all this, especially being less than 10 kilometers from the Russians. These positions have been held for a long time and the Russians aren't advancing. Then for the second part, we put on a heavy helmet and vest. And so when we pass by the city of Sivertsk, we see that the city has been heavily shelled constantly, and we arrive in these areas here where there is a heavy drone position. The heavy drones here have several activities. They can either carry out heavy bombing. That means they will head out carrying anti-tank mines, like I saw back then with the 58th Brigade near Pokrovsk. Or they will lay mines, including in areas that the Russians think they have cleared when preparing their assaults, and that obviously causes a lot of damage to the Russians. They move forward without much attention, believing they're in a familiar area from the day before and see no problem. Alternatively, they just handle logistics. The drone they use is called the Heavy Shot here. The Heavy Shot. They have several hundred of them in the army. These are drones that we consider heavy in France, meaning it has 4 pairs of propellers, a theoretical payload of 20 kilos, but in reality, it can carry 40 kilos over a few kilometers. There are much heavier drones, like the Vampire, for example, but in any case, all these drones are part of the Baba Yaga category. So from the moment we arrived here at the position, the objective was to only move at dusk, at nightfall, because these drones, since they're big and noisy, they get shot at if they ever fly during the day. Basically, otherwise these drones can fly for weeks and weeks before having any problems, because basically at night the Russians can't intercept them since they're electric drones that don't emit heat, so they can't lock onto them with their defense systems. The radars aren't powerful enough, and we're going to wait for nightfall. Once it's finally time to start the operations, there will be a first drone operation. With a takeoff, you have to admit that the drone at night, well, there's something pretty mystical about it because we know what we're putting underneath. We're putting mines, and the mines are going to be sent behind. It's to protect the guys who are on the 0 line. Here, we're on line 1. These are mines that are 3D printed with a stabilization system so they fall straight down vertically. When a vehicle crosses it, it will explode. We constantly hear artillery firing and shells falling nearby. There's a shell that landed in front of us, right there. That happened a few days ago. So the missions, there were almost 20 missions during the night. The first 4 were to place the mines to go directly to the site. And there's always this risk because here we're with the people who are among the most targeted by the Russians, the drone operators. If there are no more drone operators, there's no artillery spotting. There's no advance warning for incoming assaults. And so there's no mine laying and especially no logistics. That means the guys on the front line. That's a big change from 2 or 3 years ago. The thing is, the front line used to have to be supplied by land with vehicles that would end up getting hit. So we minimize as much as possible the trips that have to be made on the ground. And all the logistics, the entire front line, the whole 0 line, holds together thanks to the resupply done by the teams here. So it makes a lot of sense. It's really sought after by the Russians. We're in a position that's highly targeted and an even higher priority than the artillery pieces. Because an artillery piece, when there are no more drones, when there are no more people up front, well, everything will collapse, and everything depends on the heavy drone teams that are here. So I was also lucky to have night vision binoculars that you funded, and they're going to end up here, they're going to stay here, and they'll be used by some friends. That's what the green and white images you see are. PVS-14 green phosphor. It's something that's obviously very appreciated. It allows them to work without using light, which would make them detectable. We're in our underground bunker. GPS, navigation.
It has a Sputnik 301 GPS.
Okay, it's picking up 30 satellites now.
There's something interesting.
Isn't there a Russian dream?
Actually, that drone isn't affected by electronic warfare. It has a mission to accomplish, and even if it disconnects, it will continue the mission.
It has inertial guidance, right? Yes, it's inertial navigation.
Inertia, not navigation. It gives it the mission and the satellites guide it. It's guided.
Yes.
And so Russian electronic warfare, I mean, it doesn't really affect this type of drone much. All right. On the other hand, when the Russians drop KAB's glide bombs, we use electronic warfare.
Okay.
And that electronic warfare affects our drones.
Our backpack drones?
Yes.
Okay. Our electronic warfare is better than the Russians. That's good news. Is he the one who prepared the mission? Did he enter the waypoints? Yes.
He prepared and carried out the mission, yes. So actually, the mission is programmed. You tell it at what point and altitude to drop the mine. At this altitude, he points.
This altitude.
You have to drop the mine, etc. Okay? And if he loses connection with the satellites, I'll take back manual control. That's it. He's switching to manual mode.
No. Yes.
1817.
Now he's going to set off. He's going to leave Kharkiv. He's going to set off now.
How many kilometers lost?
The speed.
The speed, yes.
And the kilometers. There, he is still above our positions. And now we're about to go mine the gray zone.
Ah, okay. So here he's staying right on the line, you see. He's the one piloting.
I'm in the hiding place.
Are you looking at the height?
No, it's a tip.
A bus? A coach?
No, it's a vehicle.
A vehicle.
Armored vehicle.
And us?
An armored vehicle?
A blonde, and it's heavily armed. It blew up on our mines. That's it, that's it.
All of that is Russian equipment that actually blew up on our mines.
Ah, okay.
The battery is at 53.
That's enough.
That's enough. Here, technology, yes.
It's to see how it exploded.
So the more water we have, the more it will...
Have to be scented. Actually, that's what we do.
So now I can't see anymore.
It's water.
You don't have the highway?
I'll put it here. I'll put it here. Okay.
You're going to tell him? Let's see.
I'll put it here. I okay it. I'll put it here.
The mine went off. See, it's skidding.
The mine went off more toward the tree line. What happened? The cross is a bit higher. This is the road. Right here, by the fallen tree. It got pretty high before showing up. Mezalalo.
The wind has... There is another way.
There is another way. We're going to try.
Going to try.
There's a path. There's another path.
Oh, an explosion! An explosion.
And downstairs?
Yes, yes. I think there's water in the doors.
Yes, yes. Listen. But it's another one that fell.
Yes.
It's fine, it's closed.
There you go. I asked about the price. 2 heavy drones, 6 batteries, the communication system, the computer setup, the Starlinks. The whole set is 80,000 euros. Careful, we're here. It fell vertically. There's some wind.
Okay. That's why I tried a safety system inside.
It's on the track there.
I think it's just Saryagulia. We're not in the coals anymore in Florida.
Today we're on a mission to lay mines. Does it ever happen that they also drop bombs on Russian positions? Yes, with that same drone it can do both.
They can target precise targets, so here it's a mining mission, yes, but there can also be missions to destroy targets, and we have one.
Do you know the payload it can carry? What weight?
How much is this drone?
It's recommended to do up to
20 kilos.
kilos.
But they already had 40 kilos. Okay?
But it wasn't very far, so see very far.
Huh?
40 kilos. 40, we did about 6 or 5 kilometers.
56 kilometers with 40 kilos?
40 kilos.
5 kilometers, that's already not bad. That's not bad. And how much weight?
The weight is 120 something, can give off some... No.
I don't remember, but it can give off.
Really? Yes.
Yes, but it can engage targets.
It can actually engage targets. It can actually even carry a man. It won't go far, but for example, it can get you across the border with Hungary.
Cross a river.
That will be enough for me. That's it.
That's it. And how much?
How many missions do you do at night?
15, 16, both drops and deliveries. Okay, 15, 16 missions. Yesterday we did 20.
20 round trips in the night? Yeah, wow. And when you lose a drone, what's the reason?
Actually,
It doesn't happen very often, but when it does, it's usually... If, for example, we're bombing assaults and at that moment we have to go down pretty low and we get shot at, okay?
Not to strafe.
And the drone, since it's big, it makes a bit of noise.
It's very visible, you know. What do you mean by descend?
That's the highest possible moment exactly for the OK, but at 250 meters you can see it very well.
Even us.
We can see it very well, and as it is,
It's easy. In fact, it's because it's done during the day. During the day, you have to climb up to 250 meters, and despite everything, we still get detected. Okay, and so most of the times when he loses them, it's when he's doing an assault mission.
or there can be technical problems, but that's pretty rare.
Got the battery question. You see, I'm getting better at Ukrainian every minute. He has to go down 25 meters to drop it. And is that done automatically?
The terrain is like that. We're flying out of a pit. There's a hill in front of us. Then there's another pit. So after the hill, it goes down into a pit again. That's why it's tricky. There's no direct connection.
The communication is digital.
So actually, it's behind a kind of hill, so it has to go over the hill. It goes down behind the hill and it loses contact with the Russians.
But well, since it's automatic with GPS, it goes down, it drops.
It's programmed so that at a certain altitude it has to drop the bags.
And all the deliveries are heading to the same point today.
Yes.
Is it the same thing for all of us today?
Not really, it's these 18 points.
哪次？为是哪次？
18 positions tonight? Is it food? Is it ammunition? What is it? Supplies, food, ammunition, a bit of everything. Water, gasoline, 25 meters is pretty high. I'm at the operator station. It's very simple. First we look at Virage. Virage is that famous app I've told you about several times. There are regular updates to check for possible Russian drones in the sky. For example, here we know that there was a Supercam 800 in the area. And we can see that here where we are, it's obviously the frontline area, and we can see that it's clear. So that means we can carry out logistical operations. That means we can come and go with vehicles, just like we did with the Hummer and like we're going to do tonight. And we also know if the drone operators can go out and launch their drones without putting themselves in danger. And we're somewhere here. And so here is Siversk, and we are somewhere here in this area. And we can see the drones working over there in the gray zone. We're dropping mines in the gray zone. We're supporting our friends on the front lines here. Well, and I won't repeat the story because I've already told you several times, but here, boom, we're on Google Meet. Here it's WhatsApp. So communications on Discord, WhatsApp, Signal, and Google Meet as usual. What's great here is that they're updating the drone software remotely. Because we're connected to the internet, actually they can remotely take control of the system. They handle maintenance during the day and work at night. And during the day, the other drones in the area also work. There you go. And once the night is over, the regular drones are starting their mission again. They're smaller, they carry lighter loads, but losing them is less of a problem. So I missed the moment when they did it, but here they just dropped the drone that drops the flamethrower drone. The Dragon, as they call it. They burned down the whole tree line where the Russians had been spotted this morning. There are troops who are managing on their own, and they did that, and they have that. They did that. They... So what's really interesting too is that this mission planning software where they now enter the waypoints, it's software used across all flying drones and even some ground drones. This is a universal system for all drones made in Ukraine, and I should remind you there are now over 100 models. All right, let's go back now. So Dimitro, this mission, for me it was one of the most dangerous I've ever done. Unfortunately, some of the guys were injured out there afterward. Exactly. A year, 11 months before we could release this video, because there are always security procedures to make sure these places are cleared. The city of Sivers, unfortunately, was in ruins at the time. Now it's still in ruins, and it's occupied by the Russians too. The work that was done was still crucial. What's amazing is the ability of these drones to carry out so many missions in a single night. Yes, I would say that since then the role of these drones has only increased. And today they are all the more important because the kill zone on the front has become even wider and the logistics even more complicated. So these drones today are really crucial. Okay, do they still play a major role today or have other systems replaced them?
No, they continue to have just as important a role or even more important than before. Because the kill zone on the front, meaning the area where anything that comes out onto the battlefield is directly hit by FPVs, has expanded, and today it's really gigantic, reaching up to 20 or 25 kilometers. So the logistics to reach the front line have become almost impossible by any other means except for drones. With drones, we can manage to supply our guys who are on the front line, so the importance of these drones really can't be overstated.
So there's a need for even more drones than before. There are also offensive missions. We've seen them carry out bombing runs. We've also dropped mines. For all of that, the Russians haven't really found an effective counter to these drones.
They're trying to find solutions, but these drones still remain an extremely effective tool. And one of the latest operations by the National Guard, by our Kartia Army Corps in Kupiansk, also demonstrated the role of these drones. Because the success of this operation was largely due to the massive use of these drones.
Let me remind you that Kupiansk was a major Ukrainian operation, a real tactical success in which the city that was occupied by the Russians was completely retaken, and it was a real encirclement in which thousands of Russians found themselves trapped. So it was the Baba Yaga drones that made it possible to retake the city of Kupiansk, among other things. Obviously, it doesn't happen on its own.
Partly, of course. So there was the infantry, there was, of course, the artillery, there were fiber optic FPV drones, obviously. But the Baba Yaga, the big bomber drones, played an extremely important role. The massive use of them made it possible both to ensure logistics but also to keep constant fire pressure on the Russian positions, which made them fall back all the time.
So we're also going to talk about an important element. You receive these drones in quantity, but that's not enough. And that's also why we're doing this second part of the video today. We need you, friends. Hundreds of thousands will watch these videos. And the goal today is to provide the Rubij unit with one Baba Yaga per month. There are different models ranging from 7,000 to 20,000 euros, but we're going to commit with the channel to supporting you, to getting our friends out to prevent them from dying, to carry out evacuations. We've also seen this used to bring in equipment, including for medical needs. We're committed to this channel. I'm counting on you. If each of you puts in 1, 2, or 3 euros a month, we can do some really amazing things. The link is in the comments of this video. That way we can keep working. Another question came up repeatedly after the first video. He's a fake Ukrainian. How come you speak French so well? Thanks.
Because it's a long story. I started learning when I was very young at school. Really, by chance, it was a school with advanced French studies. Afterwards, I studied humanities, including languages, and I've always worked with France, actually, but I've never lived in France.
He's never spent more than 15 days in France. That's right, can you imagine? He has less of an accent than some people from Marseille I won't name. By the way, you make amazing t-shirts. That deserves mention. There you go, they're beautiful. You don't sell them, do you? Yes, you do?
Yes, we sell them on our website. You can include the link if you'd like.
There are the goodies.
Rubige. They're sold on our website. There are t-shirts, there are polos, there are other things too that are well designed, that are nice for everyone who supports us, everyone who loves us. And to everyone we love, we offer this with great pride and gratitude.
We're counting on you to support Rubige, 1 Baba Yaga per month to save our friends. This is crucial. You're truly saving lives. We're not exaggerating. There's the medical side and much more. There's demining, there's missile detection. You're doing a lot of things. But right now, our friends need us to hold the front line, to prevent cities from falling, to hold on in every environment, and why not also to liberate the territory? That's really what we wish for you. My friend, let's greet each other Azov style. That's how it is. Thank you, my friend. Thank you.
Thank you too.
Thank you all.
Hello friends, this is the 4th Rubige Brigade of the National Guard. We hope you enjoyed the video. These big drones you just saw help us a lot to save lives and do many interesting things on the front line. Thank you for your help. Glory to Ukraine. Glory to the heroes.